Volunteers, the most crucial component in many organizations. This is certainly true for Northwoods Caregivers. Northwoods volunteers impact numerous lives, directly and indirectly in many ways. Whose lives do Northwoods volunteers impact? It's our area's seniors and those living with a disability. And that's not all. Families of those served by Northwoods volunteers experience peace of mind, knowing there is someone who cares enough to invest their time and talents with their loved ones. You might wonder how you could volunteer with Northwoods Caregivers. Perhaps you don't believe you possess the skills needed to be a volunteer. Well, the most important skill you must possess is being you.
At Northwoods Interfaith, actually the lifeblood of the service that we offer is volunteers. Volunteers is how we got our start. That's the very basis of our services, and everything else that we've added on is actually an add-on, really, instead of the very basic material that we use to do our service, which is volunteers. Our goal is to connect, to enrich and empower the lives of Northwoods families and individuals, and we do that really through using volunteers. We currently have about 175 volunteers doing a variety of services, and without those volunteers, our organization couldn't actually do what it needs to do to keep people in their homes.
So what does a Northwoods volunteer do? Our volunteers serve in a variety of ways, like providing transportation, grocery shopping assistance, respite care, assisting with minor home repairs, shoveling snow in winter, raking leaves during senior cleanup day, along with many other valuable services.
It makes me feel useful. I retired about 6 years ago, and I do feel needed again, and I always feel appreciated. The people are always thanking me very much. Oh, thank you, and I say, well, you're welcome, because I'm probably going to need somebody to do this for me in a few years too, so you're certainly welcome.
Like Joan, Dan has experienced the benefits of volunteering with Northwoods Caregivers. Dan's story is unique in that he was introduced to Northwoods through assistance they provided his wife, Mary.
My wife, Mary, has MS. She was diagnosed a little over 30 years ago. I became involved with Northwoods Interfaith about 5 years ago when I was looking for someone to help. I was the primary caregiver for Mary for many years, and the last couple of years I was having trouble taking care of her myself, but mostly the 24-hour care was more, I needed some help, I needed a rest from that routine. So that's how I became, that's how I was introduced to Northwoods Interfaith, and when 3 years ago Mary went into assisted living, and at that time I decided that I could give something back, and so I contacted Cindy, and we set it up for me to be a driver.
Most people have a very busy schedule, which makes it difficult to volunteer. Northwoods Caregivers appreciates this and works with our volunteer schedule. Volunteers can be assigned to a specific care receiver or simply be on an on-call list.
With Northwoods, it's actually not that hard. They do really well with working around my schedule. Usually I get 2 days off a week, so I usually take and I'll either call or I'll email Missy or Cindy, and I'll let them know what days that I'm off, and they'll give me a call and say, hey, can you do something at 2 o'clock on Thursday? And usually it's an appointment, or it's somebody needs to go grocery shopping or something like that. And it's never something that takes a real long time. It's like an hour out of your life. And I love reading, so I'll bring a book, or if I have some bills to pay, I'll bring my bills or schoolwork, whatever. I'll pick up the person and we'll have a nice conversation usually as we're going there, and I'll take them into their appointment. And I usually just sit there with them and wait for them at their appointment. And, so I get things done that, and it's a little relaxed time.
Not only do we work with our volunteers' busy schedules, all Northwoods volunteers receive mileage reimbursement and are covered under the program's volunteer liability insurance.
Well, it seems like every time I need somebody, there's somebody available.
Becoming a Northwoods volunteer is rewarding in many ways. Not only do you provide companionship, but also two of the most valuable things our clients hold dear: freedom and independence.
We have a huge population of seniors here in our community, and without having volunteers, the seniors aren't able to stay in their own homes. And so volunteers provide everything from transportation, being able to take somebody, for example, to dialysis 3 times a week, or going grocery shopping for that individual or taking them with, to being able to provide handyman service. Something like being able to change a light bulb makes a huge difference to somebody who maybe could instead fall down the stairs, break a hip, and end up having to stay in the hospital just because of something as simple as changing a light bulb.
She is a good visitor, and she sort of brings the outside in to me.
Northwoods volunteers are ordinary people who make an extraordinary impact. So why are Northwoods volunteers so passionate about what they do?
They're passionate because this is their community, and they look at the value that the seniors and the people with disabilities that we serve actually are able to provide to the community.